Hello and welcome to this video tutorial from Morgan's Driving School. Today we're talking about the vehicle safety questions asked at the start of the driving test, otherwise known as the show me tell me questions. I'm going to be using this Ford Fiesta behind me for the demonstration, and for all of the questions I am going to demonstrate to you how they're done. You will normally be asked one show me and one tell me, so you won't have to actually demonstrate the tell me, but for the purpose of the exercise I've shown you on the video. Enjoy. Open the bonnet. Identify where you would check the engine oil level and tell me how you would check the engine has sufficient oil. When opening the bonnet, firstly release the catch inside the car. Then you need to find the catch under the bonnet and hold that sideways while lifting up the bonnet. Then take the support arm and make sure it's securely holding the bonnet up. To check the engine oil level, firstly, identify the dipstick and remove it. Wipe it clean with a tissue or a rag and then replace it. Take it back out and get a fresh reading on the level between the minimum and the maximum markers. Only ever do this when the engine is cold, and you will not need to do this on the driving test, but for the purposes of the exercise I've shown you how to. Open the bonnet. Identify where you would check the engine coolant level and tell me how you would check that the engine has the correct level. This is the engine coolant reservoir. To check the sufficient level, use the minimum and maximum markers on the side of the tank. Identify where the windscreen washer reservoir is and tell me how you would check the windscreen washer level. This is the windscreen washer reservoir, and on this Fiesta there is no way of checking the level. Simply open up the lid, look in, and if unsure, fill up. Make sure you've replaced the cap. Open the bonnet. Identify where the brake fluid reservoir is and tell me how you would check that you have a safe level of hydraulic brake fluid. This is the brake fluid reservoir, and you check the level on the side of the tank between the minimum and the maximum markers. When closing the bonnet, lift the bonnet slightly and the release arm will come out quite easily. Secure the release arm back into its holder and lower the bonnet until it's closed. Push down and make sure it's locked in place. Tell me how you would check that the headlights and tail lights are working. No need to exit the vehicle. Firstly, switch on your ignition, not your engine. In the top position, the lights are off. In the first position, your side lights and tail lights come on. In the second position, your dipped headlights and tail lights are on. Show me how you would switch your headlight from dipped to main beam and explain how you would know the main beam is on whilst inside the car. With your headlight switched on, use your left stalk to switch between dipped beam and full beam. You can tell that the lights are on while inside the vehicle by the blue light in the centre console. Show me how you would switch on the rear fog light and explain when you would use it. No need to exit the vehicle. With your dipped headlights switched on, using the buttons either side of the lighting control, you can switch on your front and rear fog lights. You must only use fog lights when visibility is reduced to 100 meters or less. This is your front fog light control. This is your rear fog light control. When you're finished with any lighting question, remember to switch the lights off, unless you need them on. Tell me how you would know if there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system. The ABS warning light would illuminate and stay present on the dashboard. Show me how you would clean the windscreen using the windscreen washers and wipers. To wash the front screen, use your right stalk and push the button in on the end of the stalk. Pulling the right stalk towards you as far as it will go will spray the back screen and clean that using washers and wipers. Show me or explain how you would check the power assisted steering is working before starting a journey. With the ignition switched off, the steering wheel will feel heavy. With the engine on, the steering wheel will feel noticeably lighter and should move freely. Show me how you would check that the direction indicators are working. Switch on your hazard lights and then walk around the car to check that all indicator bulbs are working. Show me how you would check that the brake lights are working on this car. If you need to switch the ignition on, please don't start the engine. With the ignition on, operate the brake pedal. Make use of reflections in windows or garage doors. If possible, ask somebody to check. Show me how you would check the parking brake, handbrake, for excessive wear. Make sure you keep safe control of the vehicle. Hold the foot brake to secure the vehicle. Release the handbrake and reapply. Make sure the handbrake feels a good amount of tension and it secures itself, and it shouldn't be at the end of its working travel. Show me how you would check that the horn is working, off-road only. Show me how you would set the demister controls to clear all the windows effectively. This should include both front and rear screens. To set the demisting controls, make sure your temperature is on hot, your fan is selected to screen, and you turn the fan on. You can use your front and rear heat lines, but only when the engine is switched on. Tell me how you would check your head restraint is correctly adjusted so it provides the best protection in the event of a crash. The head restraint should be adjusted so that it's level with the top of your head, or the bulky part is around the ears or eye level. Tell me where you would find the information for recommended tyre pressures for this car and how tyre pressures should be checked. To find the recommended tyre pressures for your car, use the manufacturer's handbook. You'll also find information inside the passenger door normally. Use a reliable pressure gauge and check and adjust the tyre pressures when they're cold. Remember to refit the valve caps. Don't forget, if you have a spare tyre, check that as well. Tell me how you would check that the brakes are working before starting a journey. The brakes should not feel spongy or slack. Brakes should be tested as you set off. The vehicle should not pull to one side. Tell me how you would check the tyres to ensure that they have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe to use on the road. Firstly, making sure there are no cuts or bulges around the tyre. You need to ensure you've got 1.6 millimeters of tread across the central 3/4 of the tyre, and that's around the whole tyre. Thanks for watching my video, I hope it helped. Please subscribe and look out for future tutorials. Good luck with your driving.